Education is something vital in life. We all need it, yet not all of us are able to have access to it, and not everyone is able to appreciate it.
I believe that it's necessary, but as it is, I don't think we have the best system for education. I think a lot of our education focuses on grades, no matter how much we don't want it to focus on grades. I know it's marketed as, oh, we're trying to help these people improve, we're trying to prepare you for the real world, but for some reason or other, it becomes focused on grades and requirements rather than actual learning.
Ito ay importante sa akin dahil ito ay nagbibigay sa akin ng madaming opportunity sa buhay.
I think that education is one of the most should be highly regarded in this world, because education is the preparation of the new generation for the future and the responsibilities it will eventually have to fulfill. Not only that, but it's also a chance for the older generation to teach us some values and some really good traits, and it's up to them if they will teach us the right things, and it's also up to us to not only be willing to absorb them, but maybe eventually correct some of the bad things that they have done in the past, and maybe correct some misconceptions.
The importance of education is more on, aside from, what I said a while ago, which is personal development. Its importance is actually in our country, it's for the opportunities. A lot of people are telling me that, oh, you don't study to get a job. But in reality, having the right education, having the access to education is a luxury that not all of us can avail. And that can affect our future. For example, you cannot be a doctor if you don't go to med school. You cannot be a lawyer if you don't go to law school. So education will pave way on your future career.
Based sa experience ko, isa yung mga kunyari sa school, mga facility, ganyan. Kapag hindi ka komportable, ganyan, mainit, ganyan, parang hindi ka komportable sa kung nasan ka, hindi ka makapag-focus pag nag-aaral.
Well, I have a lot to say about this one. Number one is poverty. You guys know that I study in a public school, so I met a lot of people, especially students who are enrolled in the first sem but wasn't able to make it in the second sem because they can't afford to do it. Or in our classroom, we have 75 students in one classroom, and we have 5 sections in one of the strand, which is STEM. So our school, despite having small classrooms, we are not allowed to reject the students, because if you reject them, the result will be them not studying at all. So that's what poverty does, especially in public schools. And for the teachers, it's very stressing for them, because imagine handling 5 sections with 75 to 80 students every day. And you're not just handling one subject, you are probably handling 2 to 3 more subjects, even if it is not directly what you studied for. That is the current case in public schools. And it's not just in our school, because I surveyed that before with other public schools nearby, near in Tagaytay and in Alfonso Cavite. And that's what they said too, that there's overcrowding or overpopulation that results in a lesser quality of education. And in terms of like the state of education now, because not all of us has the luxury to afford phones or laptops or internet connection. I have classmates who are living in the province, so they have to go to a place where there is internet connection or just a signal. Some of my classmates have to spend 100 pesos every day just to attend the online classes, because we have like 2 to 3 synchronous classes every day, and they have to spend money on it, money that their parents are trying to earn for. And a lot of people right now are losing their jobs. So just the fact that some of us are still able to really attend the classes and pass the requirements on time is a luxury.
Ang pagkakaiba po ng private school ay yung private school po kailangan po magbayad para po makapag-aral po. At ang public school naman po ay libre naman po, wala ka po mababayad para mapag-aral ka.
Facilities, mas better talaga sa private kasi parang kompleto sila. based dun sa dalawang school na pinasukan ko ng high school. Kompleto sa equipments, maganda yung facility, the aircon, ganyan. Sa private. Sa public naman, minsan sira pa yung electric fan. Minsan kami din yung nagpo-provide ng mga equipment na kailangan namin gamitin sa mga activities or projects namin.
I think the main difference is yung environment. In private schools, I see na parang students are more sheltered compared to public schools. The teacher, parang the school in general, parang filters out the information the students receive, and parang the environment is more controlled.
There's a huge gap somewhere or other. It has to do with class. The perception isn't always positive. Like, on the worst case scenario, private school people could be like, oh, these public school people are poor, they're uneducated, they don't know as much as I do. And on the flip side, the worst case perception of a public school student, of a private school student, is they're pompous, they don't know anything about real life. They live cushy lives and they've never had to do anything for themselves. So I think this divide is very polarizing. Even if it just has to do with education, it can affect your perception of a person overall, even though the divide is more apparent in economic status and their education. It can really affect how you treat each other and how you see each other and how you see them as a person.
In public school, we define quality education as the ability to have education that, regardless of your socioeconomic status, regardless of your race or your gender or your location, it is what quality education is. You are supposed to get that no matter how rich or poor your family is. You're supposed to get quality education regardless of who you are. So, do the public students deserve a better treatment than what we are getting now? Yes, we do. Like everyone does. But I'm not saying this to demean private students, because your parents work hard for you guys to put you in the institution that will give you the best quality of education, right? But as a public student, my parents are working hard too. So I think we deserve quality education as much as those who are in private schools.
Well, it is their right to education, because right to education is a human right, but it's not just education. When you say right to live, there's also right to have dignity. So you can't just live bare death, everyone just getting ready to at some point throw a stone at you. I mean, that's taking away the right to dignity. And I think it's similar to education. You can't just have education. What's the point of having education when you can't really learn anything or take anything to your future for that? I think that everyone deserves the right to high quality education, and I think it is the previous generation's responsibilities to give the next generation high quality education, because if they don't, then they will not be prepared for the future, and it will have a domino effect at some point.
Of course, it's not fair because people have to have quality education. You can't just be like, oh, sorry, we're leaving you to fend for yourself with this poor education and this poor training just because you're poor. But I don't see a fast way to alleviate this problem. Because, of course, higher quality of things always comes with a higher price. You pay more for an Apple phone, you get a better product. So, naturally, something that is of a higher price has a higher quality, but I don't believe that we shouldn't improve the quality of public education. There should be some sort of baseline quality. It shouldn't be as bad as it is now.